our protests at the University of Maryland in Baltimore, where our protesters have been consistently harassed by the CCP, where they even sent a drone to on campus in a no fly zone, federal Class B no fly zone, to harass our protesters. And then the Baltimore Sun, which regularly organizes familiarism trips to China, published a hit piece on us. Now, being a Maryland native, what is your opinion on this when you hear about this story? And the Baltimore Sun, what's the reputation?
The Baltimore Sun has a terrible reputation of being very liberal and very skewed and not necessarily telling the truth as it should be. It's very, very, very disturbing that our First Amendment rights are being violated. All of our rights are being violated. It seems like we're turning into communist China here in America, and we need to be very careful and wake up and know that if we don't stand up now, we're on a slippery slope, and we are going to end up being violated and humiliated like many of the Chinese citizens. I've had friends, sorry to ramble on, but I've had friends tell me horror stories about their family members back in the mainland China who leave their residence and they're forced to COVID test, and they're treated like animals. They don't get a choice whether they get the test up the nose, saliva, or they'll even strip them and do it on their behind. That's horrifying, and I'm embarrassed to even be saying it.
Absolutely. And it's really, truly horrifying, the amount of power and influence that the CCP has over this country. I was interviewing this gentleman, R. Harmon, who worked with Congress on Voice of America, a taxpayer-funded media agency. Voice of America interviewed Mr. Miles Guo, founder of our movement, in April 19th, 2017. That interview was cut off air live for the first time ever in the VOA's history. And the gentleman Art, he just stood here and told me, because he worked on the Hill at the time, that Voice of America, Bennett, who runs Voice of America back then, got a phone call from the Chinese embassy demanding him to take down the interview. He then called Sasha Gong, who's a reporter on site, interview Miles, who pulled the power plug and took the order directly from Beijing. Now, that's a taxpayer-funded media agency.
It's infuriating and such a huge violation. We need elected officials to stand up, including just regular citizens. We need to stand up and say, get out of here, go. It needs to be quashed. Dictatorships are not good. We have a constitution for a reason, and we need to stand up. They're our rights. Take them back.